You know, Swag, it's been a while since you've made a video talking about undervalued books, or maybe even books that have overcorrected. You should make one of those. You know what? That's actually not a bad idea. I think where we are in the current state of the comic book market, now might be a good time to talk about stuff like that. What book should I put on the list? Venom 3? First appearance of Knull? That would be a good idea. Nah, no one's ever gonna buy that book again. Oh wait, never mind. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this one, we need to talk about how Spec is never dead. You just gotta wait a little bit longer. I, for one, never doubted. I've been a day one Venom 3 holder since back in 2018. That's right. You guys know what we're watching here today. You guys know why you clicked into this video. The Venom 3 trailer came out, and coincidentally, you know what that means? The Venom 3 comic book from 2018, written by Donny Cates, that featured the first appearance of Knull, got hot in the market because we saw this character pop out in the trailer. And I think that this is a real interesting one. You know, there's so many things to talk about with this book. I feel like we've come full circle in the comic book market. You know, things got hot. Speculation really started to ramp up right around the time when this book first came out. I feel like this was like one of the first modern comic books that got the market super, super excited. This particular Venom run. First appearance of Virus. Remember that? Man, those were the days. And so in this video, I wanted to talk about the sudden surge of Venom number 3. We'll definitely do a little bit of a market report and talk about, you know, all different things as it relates to this book. Are third prints better than first prints? Is Spec ever really dead? Are we going back to a place where the trailer is the thing that once again can move the comic book market because everybody is sleeping on all of these books again? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about it all together. But of course, before I get into it, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I appreciate it. Helps support the channel doing those things. But let us get into this video here today. There you see it. The creepy room, I don't know what you call it, from another planet, symbiote world with a mysterious figure sitting on a throne in the distance. And then we get the other image from the trailer of that mysterious figure with the long white hair sitting, brooding, thinking. Who could it possibly be? In fact, in the trailer, Venom says, "My creator." Now, I don't think you have to be a Venom expert to know that the creator of the symbiote universe is in fact the character Knull, and everybody is now jumping on Venom number 3 once again. You guys know what time it is. It's time for Benny Hill. I mean, guys, this trailer, with all due respect to the people that really love the Venom films, I mean, the trailer wasn't that great, right? I mean, it was a little kitschy, if you ask me, but it doesn't matter. People want this book. I mean, you see the Venom sitting in the chair, you get hype. You're like, oh my God, I have been waiting for this moment for a long time. And you know what? I gotta say, it's pretty cool. I'm actually pretty excited about this. This might actually make me want to see this movie, just because of the fact that Knull is in it. And it's not even because like I'm like a huge Venom fan, although this particular Venom run was fantastic. This was when Donny Cates was absolutely crushing it. Everything he touched was amazing storytelling. But it just has to do with the fact that, I don't know, I have so much nostalgia for this time period of comic books. This is when everything was just, you know, ramping up again. You know, this was like speculation at its purest form. People were just excited about these stories, thinking about where it could go. And then everyone was like, oh, Venom 3, this Knull character. Knull could be, you know, the big bad. This could be like the next Thanos. And everybody was buying up this book. And then we got the Venom movies and we had 2021 and things happened. Nobody really cared about this book anymore. And then it became a little bit of a meme, you know? And then also you have to, you know, think about how this book was so heavily spec'd on. You have 4,266 9/8 that were sent in. I mean, everybody was sending in this book, and it was going to be a hard time for this one to ever really recover in any significant way. But here we are, guys. Here we are at the trailer, and we're starting to see it already. We're starting to see a little bit of a turning of the graph. Look at all these sales that have already been pulled in to go collect Just today alone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 9/8 sales. I mean, we're not even, 24 hours after the trailer here. How many of these books do you think are actually going to sell? I think there's going to be a lot of them. Now, the question is, where will the prices normalize with this? We're getting, $250 sales. And I'm not going to say that, we're anywhere close to the height of this book, where at one point it was selling for $400. We still have halfway, or we're still only halfway there. But at the same time, like, how far can we go? I mean, it's going to be tough because there's a lot of competition, and there's also the new listing factor. I mean, if we go over here to eBay, everyone knows that this trailer just came out. And what do we have people doing? Sell, 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 sell into the hype. People have been sitting on copies of this book for a long time, and they cannot wait to get it into the hands of that next person. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, this is the moment. This is the moment that anyone who has been specking on this book has been waiting for. I mean, I just did the Benny Hill music for, the sold listings, but we could equally do the Benny Hill music for the new listings. You know what I mean? So this one is interesting, and we're going to have to see how the dust settles with this. But either way, I think that this is actually really cool. I think it's really fun. I mean, I'm not here saying like, hey, yeah, everyone should go FOMO on this book. But I don't know. This is one of those books that I just personally root for. The story is great. The character is great. This Venom one was great. And it takes me back to a place where speculation was fun. It just wasn't a thing that was as toxic back then. Toxin back then. I should have used toxin for the Venom reference. But let's talk about this book. I mean, what do you guys think about this one here? Venom, first appearance of Knull. This is the original cover A. And one of the things I think is so interesting about this book is that we also have the 1 in 25 Molina variant. This is also a first print. And being that it's the 1 in 25, this one did always command a bit more of a premium. At its height, it was selling for $660, dipped all the way back down to $270. Now we recently had a $500 sale coming off of the heels of this excitement of the trailer. So pretty cool to see that. I mean, it's a cool cover, but it doesn't necessarily have the character on the cover, which I think is a little bit prohibitive to it being, say, kind of a grail book for a lot of Knull collectors. But at the same time, you have this book right here, Venom #3, the third printing. And this might be the best example, maybe one of the only examples, not one of the only examples, there was a Ms. Marvel one as well, that the following printings of, second and third prints actually commands more value than that of the original printings, where the original for Venom #3, as we already established, is selling for like $250. We can see here that, just on this day alone, we're getting $350 sale, $312 sale, slash price of $400. Maybe it went for $350. So this one always did command a little bit more value. And I think that has to do with the fact that there you see him, Venom on the cover, sitting in the throne, brooding. Now, this is just an interior page from issue #1 that they just slapped on the cover. So maybe there's people that don't really like that. But at the same time, when we're talking about putting your book in a slab and having it sit on a shelf, if you're somebody who's a Knull fan, I mean, I myself would rather have this cover than this cover. And I tend to be somebody who always buys cover A's, just because I feel like that's the way the artist intended it. And that's the way we're going to read the book, but that's just my opinion. But this one is interesting because at a time, like every other book, this one was selling for $801. Pretty crazy. So it has had a massive fall off as well, dropping all the way down to $250. Now we're back at the $350 level. And this was one where, we still have a lot of copies that are in the 9/8 grade, 1,534. Again, this is a book that was heavily speculated on. I mean, Venom was a character that everybody was talking about. And in all likelihood, with this book right here, the first printing of the Molina variants, this one only has 475 9/8 on the census right there. And then, of course, compared to Venom #1, the original cover has 4,266 copies on the census. In all likelihood, this book will always be the most consistent value because it is, quote unquote, the rarest one. But what do you guys think about this? How do you guys feel about first appearance of Knull? Everyone getting excited for the trailer once again. I mean, it's all in cycles, guys. It's all in cycles. At a certain point, you've been doing this YouTube thing for a long time. Maybe you guys have been watching the channel for a long time. We've been in the collecting world. It's really quite amazing that things always cycle back, right? Like, isn't that crazy? How many times all the way back in 2018, which, by the way, was 6 years ago already. 6 years ago, people were talking about this thing. And then it got hot. And then nobody cared. And then it would get hot again from a rumor, and then nobody cared. And now we have the trailer and everyone cares again. You know what's kind of sad? I feel like this is going to be a waste of Knull. Don't you guys think that? Like, I'm excited to see him. You know, I was not necessarily interested in this movie, but now I'm kind of interested. You know, I kind of want to watch it. But I feel like this should be a massive crossover bad guy, right? Like, don't do the thing where Venom just eats Knull at the end of the movie, which, by the way, can we check in on Amazing Spider-Man 361? First appearance of Carnage. Can we check in on this book? Whatever happened to this one? God, these Venom movies, man. 9/8, 6,255. 30-day moving 365. We'll talk about now undervalued books. I mean, look at that. This thing was at one point a $1,200 book, guys. Remember that? I mean, hell, even in 2018, this was a $400 book. Now you can get it for $370, $350. With the rate of inflation, you've definitely been losing money if you just held this book. Pretty crazy. How are you not going to like that Bagley art? It's a classic. Anyways, that's all for this video. Hopefully Venom doesn't just eat Knull at the end of the movie. But what do you guys think about this? I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's pretty cool. Certainly the market thinks it's pretty cool. And Spec is never dead, guys. It never goes away. It just goes to sleep for a little while. And then eventually comes back. Let me know what you guys think. Are you guys excited about Venom number 3? You guys excited about Knull? Are you buying Venom 3 right now? Are you selling Venom 3 right now? Anyways, that's all for this one. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. See y'all in the next one.